When he treats your heart like a game, make sure you're not the one losing. You know that feeling when something's off, but you can't quite name it. When he's saying all the right things, but somehow none of it lands in your chest the way it should. When the compliments feel empty, and the promises taste like air, and you're lying awake at 3 in the morning wondering if you're overthinking or if your intuition is screaming truth at you through the noise of his charm. Let me tell you something that's going to save you months, maybe years of your precious life. There's a specific type of man who doesn't see you as the main character in his love story. He sees you as an intermission, as entertainment, as the girl who fills the space between his Netflix binges and his gym sessions. And the most dangerous part is that he's so good at making you feel special that you won't even realize you're being categorized, filed away in his mind under casual while you're out here planning futures and choosing his contact photo. I'm about to break down 5 psychological signs that he sees you as a playgirl, not a priority. And I need you to listen with your whole heart, because this isn't about male bashing or creating paranoia. This is about you recognizing your worth so clearly that mediocre treatment becomes physically impossible to accept. The first sign is so subtle that most women miss it completely until they're 6 months deep and wondering why nothing ever progressed. He keeps everything in the moment, like obsessively in the present tense, never building bridges to your future together. Notice how he talks about plans, or rather, how he doesn't. When a man sees you as temporary, as someone he's enjoying right now, but has no intention of weaving into the fabric of his actual life, he'll avoid future talk like it's a disease. You'll mention a concert happening in 3 months, and he'll say, yeah, that sounds cool, with zero commitment. You'll talk about a friend's wedding next summer, and he'll go quiet or change the subject. And here's the kicker: when you do make plans, they are always last minute. Always let's see how we feel. Always with an escape hatch built in. A man who sees you as his girl, his actual partner. He's talking about that new restaurant opening next month. He's asking if you're free for his cousin's birthday in 2 weeks. He's casually dropping "we should try that" when he sees a cooking class ad. Because in his mind, you exist in his future. Not just his right now. But the playgirl treatment keeps you suspended in this eternal present where nothing is solid, and everything is "we'll see," because commitment, even small commitment, would contradict the casual energy he's trying to maintain. I want you to test this. Mention something 6 weeks from now. Anything. A movie premiere. A day trip. A simple dinner plan. And watch his body language. Watch how fast he deflects or how vague he gets. Because men who are serious about you don't treat your future together like a hypothetical. They treat it like an inevitability. And this ties into something deeper. Something psychological. When someone refuses to build a future with you, they're essentially saying, I don't see you there. And that's not about him being commitment phobic or damaged or scared. Sometimes it's just that he's already decided you're not the one, and he's enjoying the present moment while it lasts. The luxury-minded woman. The woman who knows her value like she knows her own name. She doesn't beg for a place in someone's future. She observes the absence of invitation, and she moves accordingly. With grace, with finality, with the deep understanding that her time is the most expensive thing she owns, and she's not spending it on someone who sees her as a limited time offer. The second sign is going to make you rethink every conversation you've had with him. He knows shockingly little about you. Like truly knows, beyond surface-level facts. And yet he's somehow convinced you that he cares deeply. This is psychological warfare at its finest, and most men don't even realize they're doing it, because society has trained them to perform interest without actually investing in knowledge. A man who sees you as a playgirl will ask you questions, but he won't retain the answers. He'll compliment you, but the compliments will be generic, applicable to any woman. You're so beautiful. You're so fun. You're so chill. But never "I love how passionate you get when you talk about your design work, or the way you take care of your grandmother shows me who you really are." You see the difference. One is about you as a concept, a pretty girl he's spending time with. The other is about you as a specific, irreplaceable human being. Start paying attention to whether he remembers the things you tell him. The important things. Your best friend's name. Your career goals. The story about your childhood that made you who you are. Because men remember what matters to them. Full stop. If he's asking you the same questions twice, if he's forgetting basic facts about your life, if he has no idea what you do for work beyond a vague, something with computers or you're in marketing or whatever. He's not invested in knowing you. He's invested in the experience of being with you, which is completely different. I had a friend, absolutely stunning, successful, the kind of woman who turns heads when she walks into Whole Foods. And she was seeing this guy for 4 months who couldn't remember that she was allergic to shellfish. 4 months, and every time they'd go out, he'd suggest sushi places. And she kept making excuses for him. Oh, he's just forgetful. Oh, he's so busy with work. Until one day she realized he could recite every stat from his fantasy football league, but couldn't tell you her middle name. And that's when it clicked to you, make room in your brain for what you value. The psychological principle here is called selective attention. We notice and retain information that aligns with our priorities. So when a man isn't retaining information about you, it's not a memory issue. It's a priority issue. He's not seeing you as someone to deeply understand. He's seeing you as someone to enjoy in the moment. And the moment doesn't require him to know that you're scared of birds or that you're saving up to start your own business or that your relationship with your father shaped your entire attachment style. A real partner, a man who sees you as his queen. He's taking mental notes like his life depends on it. He's remembering that you like your coffee with oat milk and cinnamon. He's asking follow-up questions about the promotion you mentioned 3 weeks ago. He's weaving the details of your life into his understanding of who you are because he's building something. He's constructing a relationship based on actual knowledge, not vibes. And here's where feminine power comes in. You don't teach a man to care about you. You observe whether he already does. And if he doesn't, if you're constantly repeating yourself or feeling unseen, you give him the gift of your absence and you go find someone who's actually paying attention. There's a quote by Anais Nin that lives in my head rent-free. We don't see things as they are. We see them as we are. And if he's seeing you as temporary, as surface level, as just a good time, that says everything about his intentions and nothing about your worth. So stop trying to convince him to look deeper and start requiring depth as your baseline. The third sign is where things get really interesting from a psychological standpoint, comfortable with you being upset. Like genuinely unbothered by your emotional responses in a way that should set off every alarm bell you have. When a man sees you as a playgirl, your feelings are an inconvenience to him, not something he feels responsible for or protective over. And this shows up in how he handles conflict, or rather, how he avoids it. You'll notice that when you express disappointment or hurt or confusion, he doesn't lean in with curiosity or concern. He leans back with defensiveness or indifference. He'll hit you with your overthinking. It's not that deep. Why are you being so emotional? Because your emotional experience is getting in the way of his good time, and he needs you to regulate yourself back into the fun. Easygoing girl he signed up for. This is manipulation, masquerading as rationality. It's him training you to suppress your needs so he doesn't have to meet them. And the truly insidious part is that it works. You start second-guessing your own emotions, wondering if you are too sensitive, if you are expecting too much, if maybe you should just chill out and enjoy the ride. And that's exactly where he wants you small. Quiet, convenient, a man who actually values you, who sees you as his partner, his equal, his person. He cannot rest when you're upset, like physically cannot relax until he understands what's wrong and how to make it right. Not because he's weak or controlled by you, but because your emotional state matters to him. Your peace is connected to his peace, and he's invested in the harmony of the relationship. I remember talking to this incredibly wise woman. She's in her 50s, been married for 27 years. And she told me something I'll never forget. She said the right man will move heaven and earth to make sure you never feel uncertain about where you stand with him. And I thought about all the times I'd accepted breadcrumbs from men who made me feel crazy for wanting clarity, who made me feel needy for asking basic questions like what are we or where is this going? And I realized I'd been accepting comfort with my discomfort as if that was normal. It's not normal. It's strategic. It's a psychological tactic called stonewalling, where someone shuts down communication to avoid accountability. And when a man stonewalls you, when he makes you feel like your emotions are burdens, he's showing you that maintaining his comfort is more important than ensuring yours, which means you are not a priority. You are an option. The fourth sign builds on this perfectly, never initiates difficult conversations, never brings up exclusivity, never asks about your feelings or where your head's at, because he's operating under the assumption that if he doesn't bring it up, the casual nature of your situationship will just continue indefinitely. And you know what? He's usually right, because most women are so terrified of seeming desperate or pushy that they'll wait months, even years, for a man to decide he's ready to claim them. Let me be crystal clear about something: a man who wants you as his girlfriend does not need 6 months to figure that out. He does not need to see where things go. He does not need to sample other options while keeping you on the back burner. He knows, and he moves accordingly. He has the conversation. He makes it official. He removes the ambiguity, because ambiguity benefits only the person who wants to keep their options open. If you're sitting in month 3, month 6, month 9 of seeing someone and you still don't have a title, still don't know if you're exclusive, still feel like you can't call him your boyfriend without checking first, he's deliberately keeping things vague, and that vagueness serves him, not you.